Hello everyone, Doug Hansgate here. I thought I would bring you a brief introduction into the Adobe Lightroom lens blur tool. I know this has been a hot topic and there's a bunch of YouTube videos out there about it, but I thought I'd bring my own insight on this particular tool. So without further ado, let's jump into Adobe Lightroom. So we're in Lightroom. I have an image up that is just it's a simple image of a glass globe sitting on a mount with a background in the background. It was a fun image we created during Mardi Gras, so thought we'd use this to show you one of the simpler things in the lens blur. So here I am over in lens blur right now, and of course we know that we have these different developed modules, and I'm in solo mode right now. By right clicking on this, you can go into solo mode so that only one module is open at a time, and it's just more convenient for me that way. So let's look at applying the lens blur. Right here we have the apply button, and if you hit apply, it will determine what it thinks is the very best evaluation for foreground and background, and that's based upon subject. And you see subject is selected right here. Now this is basically targeting that we can do with brushes, but subject is selected, and you'll see that it did a really nice job of selecting my subject. If we were to blur the background even more, you'll see that the foreground subject appears to pop in place. And if we were to just double click on a mount to bring it back to the standard 50%, it still looks good. Our base could stand to be blurred maybe, but because it's holding the subject, it's not a bad situation. So it did this automatically. Now by going to visualize depth, you can see exactly what it thought was our subject, and there's a little bit of confusion here in the center just because it thinks that this might be part of the background. We can fix that. We can also adjust the range, and this is a really kind of critical tool, is that this focus range box is what tells the Adobe product what to focus. So by moving it to the background, it's keeping the background in focus now, and it's blurring my subject. So we can always move this focus box, and we can modify this focus box by these and little squares. So I could say, look, only keep this particular range of the image in focus, and you see that there's really nothing there according to the little histogram. So I could bring it over and say, yes, just keep my subject itself in focus, and maybe expand this a little bit on this edge. So I'm going to click and just drag this over a little bit. So that's how the basic tool works, and that visualizing depth works very nicely for an image like this. It will just grab your subject, and you have a reasonable depth of blur focus field. So let's go to another image that might be a little more challenging. Let's go to something like this. So here we have a nice Arabian out in the field, and you can see that the background is somewhat distracting from our subject itself. Now first of all, this was shot at ISO 5000 and probably not a fast enough shutter speed, as you can see up there, but let's just take and denoise this first. So I'm just going to use the denoise function in Lightroom and just choose a little bit of a denoise here. I'm going to go up to maybe 65 or so, and just hit enhance and see where that takes us. Now you can see that it's working up here in the corner, and it is it is working here. We've got the spinning dial, and now it's done, and it says okay, we've denoised that. Now if your image is noisy, it kind of helps to do that before you go ahead and try to do a lens blur, because it really needs to have the ability to find these edges. So let's try lens blur now. Now this is an interesting image because all of this tail hair it looks a little jagged, and the horse itself doesn't look too bad, but the tail hair definitely looks a little jagged, and we've got this bush up here on top that is definitely trying to say, hey, wait a minute, you're in focus too. Now we don't want the bush to be in focus, and if we were to visualize the depth range, you'll see that this range is pushing into this background a little bit. So if I narrow this range up a little bit, maybe I can get that bush to not be quite so prevalent in my focus. Now it's not helping a lot, but we have narrowed the range. So what we need to do is, first of all, just click on the blur tool, and essentially with full flow, and we can feather full size, it doesn't matter too much. We're just going to paint this up here and say we want this to all be blurred as well. Now, one of the things that you noticed was that it didn't catch some of these leaves. That's because auto mask was on. So if you turn auto mask off, you'll see that now it catches all of those without actually having to have that color, this little plus sign in the middle of my brush, actually meet that particular color of that leaf. So when you're doing big areas like this, turn auto mask off. Now over here I could actually just reduce my flow a little bit, and maybe even just grab a little bit bigger brush and say, look, let's kind of diminish the sharpness here a little bit more than what the map sorts out. But we have this tail that's kind of bothersome, so we need to fix that. Now that's where the focus tool is going to come in play, and what I'm going to do is turn off visualize depth, and what I want to do is turn auto mask back on, and I want to zoom in to the tail. And what I want to do is keep the plus sign of my brush on the tail as it starts to move backwards. And I may want to actually just decrease the flow a little bit. So what I want is that tail to come back and focus. So I'm trying to keep my plus on the tail some. Now you'll notice that as I go over it, it gets a little bit more intense of the focus coming back in as I do it. And this is going to be a balancing act, right? Because, you know, let's face it, this blur tool is a new tool for Adobe Lightroom. It's still in the development process, and it may need some refining. We may eventually see that we'll get a masking tool similar to what we might have in Photoshop. But for now, this is kind of what we're limited to. Not a bad option, just not as nice as what we may like to see eventually. But again, this is probably one of the most difficult tasks that you might ask of this blur tool. And the way that I found to get the best benefit of this is to literally work both tools, the focus and the blur, a little bit. So I'm going to take and kind of just build up some of the focus in and around that hair, that tail hair of that Arabian. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the blur tool, and I'm going to take and decrease the amount of blur and the flow rate. And I'm going to try to keep my tool in the green. so that with auto mask on, it is looking to define that green a little bit more. And so this is the balance, right? So we can get a little bit smaller tool. I'm just using the left bracket key, and let's take my feather down some. And what I want to do is just kind of give me a little bit of balance. I want some of the hair, I want it to blur slightly, but I want to find a balance in there that will work for my image. And so by doing this in both directions, both the add sharpness and focus, and then subtracting the blur, I'm able to create a reasonable transition for my eye. Now again, this is not going to be perfect, but what I'm looking to do is create a reasonable transition without a lot of crazy pixelization, without a lot of harsh edges to this. I just wanted to soften and give me a little bit of an easier transition to that blurred background. So if we go back up to our normal fit range, and what I'm going to do is just go to a little bit bigger and a little bit more amount, because I just don't like this little spot right here. And I may actually turn my auto mask off so that it just gives me that little bit of blur, and I'm going to just feather this a little bit. Now, one of the tricks with this also is now that we have this nice blur and we have the mask as best we can get in Lightroom, don't always think that you need to apply a blur that's like super crazy, for the background. Because yes, this really separates my horse from my background, but it almost looks too fake. And in this case, especially with the hair on the tail, taking and going to the standard is, if we double click on blur amount, we go to the standard of 50. If we take this down to like 36, 35, we still get an absolutely beautiful separation, and yet we don't have the craziness in and around the tail hair that we were really concerned about. So when you get to the point where you're trying to do that crazy blend between subject and background, think about balancing both focus and blur, but also taking and understanding that we have the ability to soften our blur amount to ease that ease that transition. And by the way, this little triangle here hides and reveals the brush refinement options that I was using. And let's just go to one other image, and let's just jump over to this image for a second. And I'm just going to make certain that this is reset. So this was an image that I shot at this was a live workshop that I did in Louisiana for the Gulf States Camera Club Council. This was a street fashion workshop, and this young lady volunteered for us. So we had this little walkway here, and I've dropped a couple of quick lights in. And let's just go ahead and kind of fix the image just a touch. First of all, just by straightening it out just a touch so that it looks a little better to my eye. And then let's look at what lens blur does for this image. Now, automatic in the blur mode, it just did a really nice job of selecting our subject and blurring the background and creating this nice soft background type feel. And we could increase it even more if we wanted to make it that much more dramatic. But I think that it did a nice job altogether. Now, one of the things that we have available to us is this bokeh choice. This is the standard bokeh choice. If we were to go to this is basically a repeating line of bokeh, right? And you'll see that what it did was it created a duplicate. And this is maybe not the best image to show it, but you can see how it's now all of a sudden made this pentagram here, right? And then over here we have this strong outside ring and a small, strong inside ring. And then here we have this, oblique dome type look. So going to go with this kind of oblique dome type look, but we're going to probably get rid of that anyway. Visualizing the depth, you see that it had no problems at all, except it missed a spot in here. So I'm just going to fix that by saying, let's just brush this spot and make certain that this, and you can see now what the flow did, right? You see my flow, I'm brushing away, and it's not filling it totally. Just increase your flow and say, yes, this is part of my subject. I could fix a little bit of hair if I wanted to, but it's not bad as it stands. So this is a case where the lens blur worked really nicely, creates a dramatic look for us. Probably use this image in some later YouTube Tuesdays that I'm doing, but let's just fix a couple things. We can't not fix this. So I'm just going to use the generative AI and just sweep this area and say, please just go ahead and eliminate that for me, and it's going to eliminate that particular light for me. Don't mind this light here in the back because it's giving us this light right here, but maybe we ought to fix this one as well and just say apply there and see what it does. And it's diminished both of them. It hasn't gotten rid of them, so we can get rid of them totally by just going to a clone stamp tool and say, look, let's just clone this and use that source down there to diminish it even more. Not perfect, but it's pretty darn close, and Lightroom's done a nice job of it. So I hope you've learned something today. I hope that this was informative to some extent. Follow me. I'm going to try to do a little class every Tuesday for YouTube. And if you notice the sign behind me, the Photo Guild, that's a Thursday night program that I run where I have people from around the country getting together and an informal / group of people that want to spend 3 hours a week with me doing photo editing. So if you're interested in that, please follow the link below and you can follow it there. Have a great day. Hope this helped you.